Hey, what's up? How are you? Good to see you. So I've been doing reading lately. Not lately, I read. I've been continuing to read, but the specific thing that I've been reading lately is well, it's recognizing some truths to experience and existence that are always present but aren't always consciously thought of. Most specifically would be the notion of rhythm. Rhythm, ebb and flow, rise and fall, in and out, on and off. Well, these kinds of expressions are, represented in a lot of different things in life. You see it day in and day out. But there's one right there. Day in and day out. Let's consider the rise and the fall of the sun each day. Let's consider waking up each day and going to sleep. Also, let's consider it in natural things. The waves in an ocean, the beating of your own heart, the moods that one may go through as another expression, another representation of the rhythm of life. Rhythm is everything. Rhythm is all over the place, and it has a lot to do with, in my opinion, and what I've been reading, vibration. Vibration is represented in everything. You see it all around you, or you also don't see it. There's vibrations in sound that you don't see. There's vibrations in light that you don't see. There's even, vibrations in things that you cannot see, like ultraviolet or gamma or X-ray. So there's a lot of things that are constantly vibrating and vibrating in a rhythmic fashion all the time, even though we don't see it. And I have been reading about the fact that this also translates into like mental goings on, moods, emotional reactions to things. And a lot like we can harness the power of light, and we can harness electricity, and we can make a light turn on and off in our home. Well, we can also observe and harness the ebb and the flow of our own mentality and our own moods and emotions and feelings. Not by denying them, but also by just acknowledging that they are there, that they are present, that they happen. So one thing that I've been working on recently and that I've been focusing on is trying to observe rhythm in everything. I think that a major reason why we are so inclined to like certain things that have to do with rhythm is because it is a very natural element of existence. Music hits us all in a different way, and there are different rhythms that are more pleasing, or we're more susceptible to liking certain rhythms, but it has to do with the fact that it tunes into the natural up and down, in and out, ebb and flow of life. So the thing that I've been focusing on and practicing in a daily manner is observing the rhythm of my breath. Breathing it's a pretty extraordinary thing, actually. We may overlook it and we may kind of write it off, but the power behind breathing is super evident. You've heard common expressions before, and I definitely have, of like, hey, when you get into like a frustrated or upset or angry mood, stop and take 3 breaths and then approach the situation from there. You might have said to yourself, oh yeah, okay, here I go, I'm gonna breathe. But if you actually give it a real chance, and if you actually calm down and just for a moment focus on a few deep breaths, I don't know if there's a time when I've actually truly given it a shot and truly gone for it that it hasn't worked to put me in a level-headed and calm demeanor, so that I can approach whatever I'm doing with a much more focused, a much more calm, a much more reasonable and logical and deductive approach. So, breathing helps me to get back into the natural rhythm of things. Everything is rhythm. Everything has rhythm in it. Even the things that we don't think have rhythm in it have rhythm in it. And a great way to get into that is by breathing. Now you can, do some really deep, long breaths. You can put a lot of force and attention on some really fast and short breaths, and it can yield a lot of different experiences and results. But a great way to get back into the rhythm of life and the vibration of life is to focus on your breathing. One other thing that I find very, very fascinating, and I started to notice this when I was listening to a lecture by Alan Watts, oddly enough, is that breathing can be seen as both a voluntary and involuntary action in this way. When you bring focus to your breath, you can make your breath do things like be long and deep, or short and fast, or you can not think about breathing at all, and yet your body still breathes. When you're thinking about it, you can make it happen. When you're not thinking about it, it happens already. So, what a weird notion that is, because you think to yourself, well, when I'm not thinking about breathing, and when I'm not focusing on, the duration of my breath or the depth of my breath, who's doing it? Who's doing that? Well, it's definitely still you. It's a side of your conscious attention that we don't give a whole lot of credit to. Just like we don't give a whole lot of credit to the fact that we beat our own hearts, we grow our own hair, we dilate our own pupils, we digest our own food. You've maybe heard of situations or examples of, mystical or spiritual people who have tapped into a state of consciousness and a state of breathing where they can slow their heart rate down, they can raise and lower their temperature, they can, speed up or shorten or elongate, natural occurrences in their body, which, most of us don't have the control to do. So, anyways, it's a great thing. It doesn't take long. It's not something that is, you need to have a whole bunch of prior knowledge. It doesn't take anybody else. Nobody else has to be there, and you don't have to know a whole lot in order to just sit for a few moments each day and breathe. I also like to do it when I'm engaging in different activities. Lately, I've been representing this or expressing this in disc golf. Played a lot of disc golf lately. A lot of fun. It's a really cool thing to kind of hone in and get technique on and see where I can develop my method and also my power behind it. And a good way for me to kind of hone that in before I step up and throw each disc is by controlling my breath, focusing on my breath, getting myself into that mind state where I kind of let go of anything that could be mentally messing with me before I step up and I make my correct And you can use this for a lot of different things. So, rhythm. Observe it. Know that it's there. See how it can be beneficial to it's there either way. It's all around us either way. Things are in a rhythmic state all the time. Sometimes these rhythms are, disharmonious, and these vibrations that we're feeling are not pleasant. But the ability to tap into it and get to a harmonious and a pleasurable rhythm and vibration of things, it's always there. We just kind of have to bring our attention to it. This stuff kind of seems a little bit heady and weird. Not really in the way that I approach it, because I wouldn't just like throw my hands up to all this like silly, hippy dippy weird stuff and be like, oh, I just hug a tree and breathe and feel better. Although that does sound nice. But I think it comes, from a much more like methodical approach, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I sound crazy. I don't think that I do. I might to other people. So I hope that you find some harmonious rhythm in whatever you're doing. Get out there and throw a frisbee if you haven't in a long time. Even just a regular frisbee that you throw back and forth between people. What a great way to just kind of get into the natural flow of things. Just to see it glide off your hand and go where you intended to. I tell you what, this is how much I love frisbees. I always carry a frisbee with me. Wherever I go, whenever I am out and about, in my backpack, it is always with me. Because I know how therapeutic this is. I know how fun it is. This doesn't have to be your thing if you don't want it to be, but this is something that I like to express my flow and my meditation with. All right. Good day.